Hello, welcome to the authentically podcast, episode number 9, I believe. I have an interesting guest today. We're going to talk about how to build business while being authentic. And it's something that touches me very deeply and excites me. So I'm happy to have this conversation today. And please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much for having me, by the way. Hi, my name is Joppe. I am a communication specialist, and I'm on a mission to create a better world through improved communication. And I believe that authenticity is a huge part of that. And I was really amused by how we got into contact. I think I commented on a LinkedIn post you had, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And I feel often nowadays like authenticity is kind of a topic, you know? People talk a lot about it, whether it's like in the sense of like relationships and psychology, but also marketing. Everybody's talking about it. But how many people understand how to use it? What is it actually? And I think it's a really, really interesting question. And like you, I feel like we're a kindred spirit in the sense that authenticity is one of my values. And it's like also a driving force. And so I'm super happy that you speak for this and that we get to have this conversation.
Likewise. We have a small agenda here, but let's see how it's gonna flow. But as we both are entrepreneurs also, so I would like to start talking how being authentic shows in doing business.
Right. What I was thinking about was I was guessing another podcast, and then somebody actually asked me, "What is authenticity?" And I realized I feel like it's a really hard question to answer. Everybody has a feeling with it, right? What it means to be real,
Yeah,
or something like that. But then, a child who is a 2-year-old and throwing a tantrum is also authentic. Is that the authenticity, that I'm aiming for, you're aiming for? So I thought, if it's okay with you, I would like to explain what I think to me is authenticity.
Yeah.
I would also really love to hear what you think yourself. So what comes to my mind, and by the way, I'm still also building the concept for myself, right? Learning what it means. And the reason why I like to define it is because otherwise it becomes this vague term that we can toss around.
It's true.
We should be authentic. Oh, okay. The world, in many ways, tells us what we should be. Our parents, teachers, our friends, what sports we should do, what beauty is, what's important. And I do think that people in society, they mean well. It happens because they want to protect us, right?
Yeah.
However, if I'm fed a steady diet of being told what I should be, then my sense of self is pushed away. And I don't know what I want. And there's actually there's few points in life where you can see this discrepancy being expressed as a problem. One is puberty, where teenagers go, who am I? And all of a sudden your son who used to dress normally is full in black, right? Trying to find out, what am I? Rebelling, right? The second time is definitely more around our age, which is the midlife crisis. And when you read about it, the midlife crisis is exactly that. People realize they have built a life. They look back and they go, but I didn't choose most of this.
Yeah.
Right? Who am I? What do I want? Okay. And then I also feel really strongly, this is where the business comes in, is that money, profit, easily goes against authenticity. Because if the goal is just to make more money, well, then values don't really play a role, right? Why be authentic? Why don't become what I want to, needs to be in order to get that money in? I've even seen people on LinkedIn say this, like, give your audience exactly what they want. And I'm like, wait a minute, but then what about you? Right? Okay. And why do I see that? Because if money profit is the only value, then we're not creating a better world. I don't think so, at least. However, if I'm living a life of authenticity, where I understand what I want and how I want it, then I believe that automatically results in creating a better world for me, for you, for us, and for our environment. And I'm pretty sure we can go deeper into what that means. And is it okay if I read a poem?
Yeah.
Yeah? Because I was thinking about it also, that I think poetry often is a easier way to showcase these things. This will be actually my next book, hopefully. It's called This Version of You. I will not allow rules or laws to dictate my morality. I will not let rules or laws dictate my reality. I do not need others to tell me what it means to hurt another person. I do not need this because I can feel what I feel when someone hurts me. I do not need this since I can feel what someone else feels when they are hurt. I do not need rules, for I have kindness in my heart. I do not need laws, for I am polite in my expression. I do not need guidelines, for I am direct. Nor do I need power, for I am honest in who I am. And who I am is me, kind, polite, direct, and honest in my expression. I am beauty, I am art, I am all that I wish that I was. So if I show you the way that I am consistently, if I show you what I need, if I show you when I'm happy, if I show you when I'm in pain, whatever the hell it is, whether it's in business, love, friendships, what does that create?
It creates trust.
Trust, right? Very simple. Because now you know what's going to happen next time we meet, and the time after that, and the time after that. And you know that I'm going to do as I say. You know that when I speak, it matches my actions. Then it's easy to do business, right? Because we're not competition. Like, it is a super, I mean, this is so simple, it's almost stupid, right? If I'm consistent in who I am, you can trust me, and then you know what we can collaborate on.
I agree. I agree very much with that, because it doesn't matter if it's a personal relationship, a business relationship, a son and a father.
It's a
Trust.
Yes.
It always,
Yes.
you need to have trust
Yes.
to make it work.
Yeah.
And if you talk about building business, when you have trust, you can think of building a long-term business.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you can look for where you can collaborate. I mean, even if you're competition, you can still look where to collaborate instead of I have a need to destroy you, right? Because if I have a need to destroy you, I cannot be honest with you.
No.
It would be, well, maybe you could, but that would be very strange.
But yeah, and when you're being authentic, you don't have exact competition.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
you have even if you would do exactly the same thing, you have the people who trust the way you show up, and I have the people who trust the way how I show up. So we can talk together. We can, how do you do that? How do you improve that? We can collaborate together, aiming for the same result. We just have a little bit different point.
And then, exactly, right? So, whether you are looking for clients, that means that you're going to attract certain clients, and other ones, they will not want to work with you.
Yeah.
That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Or maybe you're looking for a career, that way you will find companies and people that fit you. I feel like there's this really weird overemphasis on, adjusting yourself to the other so that you get more opportunities. But these opportunities, is that what you want? Is that where you're going to be happy and fit and grow? Probably not.
Yeah. It might be a short term.
Yeah.
But if I think about myself, for example, I want to build a long-term business. I don't want to fake it.
Yeah, exactly.
I can fake it 2 weeks, maybe a couple of months.
Yeah.
But if I think from here to 5 years, do I want to walk or with the mask on?
Yeah.
No, I want to be as real as I can. So I don't have to think every morning what I need to say. I just say how I feel.
Exactly. Yes. And then, but what I also find it very important to extend kind of that me being authentic really only works if you're also being authentic, right? If I'm being authentic, but you don't like that, or you don't want that, or you're pretending, then it's a very strange meetup, because we're talking about, in the same conversation, we're talking about completely different things.
Yeah.
And it's also, for instance, I feel like giving other people space to be authentic is also a skill. And I don't want that to be confused with letting people do whatever they want.
Absolutely not.
Because I do really feel very strongly that with real authenticity also comes responsibility, right? So that's where the example with the 2-year-old has a tantrum comes in. Are they authentic? Yeah, they're very authentic, but they're also immature. And you're a 2-year-old. You're allowed to do that. Lay on the floor and scream, right? It's your job a little bit.
Yeah.
But as an adult, to be direct, honest, polite, and kind in your authenticity. And it's really strong, because if you do that properly, your boundaries are very clear, because your authenticity translates to values. And you can follow those values. Everything becomes an arrow. Every single time there is a split in the way, should you go left or right? You simply ask, what brings me to my authenticity? Which one fits my values? That's all you have to do. And life becomes easy.
It does. And I agree with you. And I said, like, being authentic, as you said, it's not a permission to be out of the line. And also, being authentic doesn't mean that you have to serve everything.
No, exactly. Yeah.
But like, when you say something, when you do something, that should be as often aligned with your values as possible.
Yeah.
Like, I know sometimes I go a little like this, and what did I, like this morning I had some ups and downs.
Right.
I had a small argument with my son, and afterwards when I went running, yeah, I wanted to win the fight. I didn't look for the common good. I wanted to show that I'm the boss.
Right.
So that's why we got into the fight, and I okay, gotta talk it out with him when he comes back from school. But like, reflecting my behavior and my words is a good way of finding that I stay close to my alignment.
And I like what you say also, because, I feel like maybe people might have this idea that people that are truly authentic, they're like some kind of monk, always balanced and calm. But no, I love what you say. You had a conflict.
Yeah.
And then you were honest enough to reflect about it, and then realize, hey, maybe I should not have done that. Maybe you're able to get back to it with your son. That's authenticity. So authenticity doesn't mean no conflict, and doesn't mean that you never make mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely not.
But it shows us that we can change our mind. And this is something that actually in business, this really takes me off. People are very against showing that they were wrong. Why is that a bad thing? Mike, I change my mind all the time, depending on what people tell me, right? If I have 3 advisors and this person gives me advice and I go, that's a great idea. The second person might give a different advice and I might change my mind. And the third time again. There's nothing wrong with that. But in business, there's this very strong, this identity of I have to always be right. I always have to be in power. I can't show any vulnerability. And I feel like nowadays, it's time for a change. I sometimes feel as if we're potentially going through some kind of work revolution, because these topics are becoming more and more prevalent. If you look at LinkedIn, more and more people talk about this, doing managers manage, doing leaders lead. And then I see a lot of people, and they still want to kind of hold on to the old ways of, like, I guess what people would call professionalism. And I don't think there's anything wrong with a healthy dose of professionalism, but I feel that we have turned professionalism in this, like, I don't even know what to call it. It's like a prison in itself, right?
I know what you mean.
Because this again goes against authenticity, that, you put on this mask of power, of how you should be, and then before you know it, people are being put down, and it's, yeah. What do you think?
Let's play a game.
Yeah.
We both said that to build a good business, you need trust. So if it's the first person, I said, okay, I know how to do it, and I never make mistakes. I'm perfect doing this.
Yes.
And then the second guy comes, yeah, I have quite good experience doing this. We experiment, we try, sometimes we fail, sometimes we succeed. And when we succeed, we develop from there and we learn from the mistakes. So which one do you trust?
Yeah. Well, the second one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nowadays.
Absolutely.
And it's funny because I do think that there's a lot of people who would still pick the first one because it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, and I think it's when you are not authentic. Yeah, when you're not aligned with yourself, you need someone to tell you exactly what to do so you can kind of outsource the responsibility. So if you follow, but it was his idea, it was he said that he knows how to do it. But then when you find yourself, you become aligned, you're okay making mistakes and you understand you have to try, and sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss.
And that also it's always a collaboration, right? So if you're in my team, even if I'm the leader, so I ask you to do a task, even though it's your job, I'm still there to support you.
Mhm.
So I could choose to wait whether you do it well or not. And then if you do it well, then we did well. I did well.
Yeah.
If you don't do well, then it's your mistake. I didn't do anything wrong. I need to protect my place. However, everything changes if you know I have your back. Actually, there's a very simple thing that I teach, and I'm always a bit reluctant to explain this because it sounds so stupendously simple that I don't understand it's not done more. It's very simple. So we're in a team. There's multiple people, different functions. And there's a thing we have to do. We have to get X, right? What a lot of managers or leaders will do, or CEOs, they will go, okay, guys, you do this, you do that, da, da, da. Does everybody have everything you need? Yes, okay. Thank you. See you next week. I'll wait till everything's done, right? And sure, that's okay. But I feel really strongly, everything changes if you do this. And in the beginning, this is very silly to do. But I turn to you and I ask you, okay, so you're going to do the design as your task. You're the design. And then I say, in order to do this task in the best way possible with your skills, what do you need from me and the team? That's already different than saying, does everybody has everything you need? Because if I say, does everybody has everything you need? Then you're going to think, well, I guess I have to say yes. It's a very weird psychological thing because I'm not really creating space here.
Yeah.
So I'm already opening it up, but it goes deeper. And then I say, word by word, I go, is there any tools that you need that you don't have? Is there information that you need that you don't have? Is there any introductions that you need that you don't have? Or location, or budget, right? We can go through the list, right? Okay. Now I'm showing you that you can answer. And now you're thinking and you go, oh, well, actually, I would need from Sandra these logos.
Yeah.
Okay, Sandra, can you give the logos? Yeah, can you make that happen? Cool. And you turn to the next person. Same list again. What do you need in order to do this to your best possibility? Do you need references, time? Do you need motivation? Like whatever. You can make a list, right? You go through everyone. Now everybody feels supported, trust, safety.
Yes.
And they understand that it's my job to help you provide that. So you're going to do the task. That means that I don't have to do it. That means that I trust you. I don't have to micromanage either. I give you the tools. That's my job, right? Simple, right? Then we meet up next time. And all we have to check is, did everybody do their job?
Yeah.
And the beauty of this is this. If you haven't done your job, it's very strange because they'll literally ask you word for word what you needed. So then either there's something else completely wrong. Maybe your child is ill and you cannot concentrate. Maybe you're close to burnout. Whatever it is, we can talk about this. Or you're just really not good at your job. And that's possible, right? That's possible. But the best thing for the leader is that I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
I'm now managing where we're supposed to be managing, right? And to get back to authenticity, what I like about this is this. If I do this, then I respect you as the authentic expert. You get to be you. Plus, I tell you I ask you what you need, and you do it any way you want. You want to do the work in the middle of the night? I don't care. Why would I care? You wanna work not on a laptop but have posters on the wall?
All right.
What? Yeah, what does it matter? Like, what I've seen a lot happen though is that because a lot of leaders are overworked,
Mm-hmm.
they start to do the work for other people, with other people. And then the experts don't get to do the things the way they want to do it. And then the leader starts to tell them how to do it. And now there's no trust, no authenticity, and slowly everybody becomes miserable. And then gossiping starts.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see where this is.
Actually,
Simple, right?
there's a bit similar situation happened this week. I use sometimes freelancer to edit my videos. And because I was in a rush, I just give like a short instructions what I needed. And of course, it's impossible to another person understand from a two sentence what I want.
Right.
But in my mind, okay, now that's already that's her job. No, I don't have to worry about that.
Right.
And then when I see the video, it's not what I want.
Yeah.
The first thing is, she doesn't get what I wanted. And then, how did I structure? Like,
Exactly.
okay, I came two sentences, didn't ask it like this question. Of course, I should like, what do you need? And I should tell her what I want the end result to look like. Just like cut from the beginning at the logo at the end. Okay, it wasn't what I wanted. So I ended up doing it myself last night because, okay, now I have to send it out to the client. Okay, it has to be done now. So if I would do it properly in the first place, I wouldn't have to touch it anymore. But because I wanted to take the shortcut in the first place, it ends up that 11 in the evening, I'm editing the video that I didn't want to edit in the first place.
So it's a very good example. And what I like about it is that if I'm being authentic, that only works if I'm also authentic in my expression.
Mm-hmm.
And that creates then also need to be clear. I have to express myself in such a way that you can understand me.
Yes.
And we humans do this very strange thing where we just assume that people understand everything.
When I say something, it's like the message is delivered.
Yes. Yeah. And it's really not.
I learned this with my kids.
Right.
Like in the beginning, it was like, that's like, oh, things don't happen.
No.
So what did you understand?
Yeah.
And then, okay. And then we start a conversation. Okay, why is this important? Then we might get some results. Yeah. And then just delivering the message one-sided, it really works.
Wait, so let's build on this. So I have to communicate properly. We can get later to what that means, but that also means that in what space, what is the setting that I'm delivering this in, right? So if you're the boss man, and you're running through the hallways and you go quickly and you go, hey, auntie, do this thing, blah blah blah, and you run off, right? In the hallway, what? Everything changes if it's like we're sitting now and we're in contact and we're having an in-depth conversation about it. And people believe mostly that this takes more time, but it doesn't. This is actually find a bit strange, but it's really true. If I take the time to communicate properly, I have more time left at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is actually. Maybe it's just because things are more streamlined, right? So I need to say that it shows the complexity of authenticity. I have to learn first what I want. What do I want and what do I need? And I need to be able to describe that, right? Because if I tell you, you'd ask me, what do you want authentically? And I say, I want to be free, right? What on earth does that mean? So I have to be able to describe it. And that means I have to learn that, because that's hard. Because when I coach people, I have a tool which I call descriptive communication, which is based on this. And 99% of the people, when you ask them what do they want, they either answer, I don't know what I want, or they say, I can't have what I want. And then when I help them to come up with the want, almost nobody can describe it, right? So for instance, let's go with freedom. So I say I want freedom. Well, what does that mean? To you, what would that mean to you?
Freedom mean that I can live based on love and based on my values.
Okay, based on love, vision, or value. So that's already description, right? That's better. More, I understand that better than I need to be free, right? Okay. So maybe freedom for me means that I want to drive in the countryside in France in summer with a convertible with the love of my life. Right? It's very different. So I have to describe that. And what I find interesting, what you just did, and by the way, everybody does this, I still don't know what that means. I live my life by my values, right? So for instance, a way of saying it would then to say, these are my values. And in difficult situations, I follow the values. Right. This is also more clear, right? Okay. So then if I really want you to understand this, again, if I'm screaming at this to you at a concert, maybe not going to come through. So to have a setting where you can get to the point where you can receive that, right? Okay. And then what I like is this. This is it's very simple, is to always end with the question, and what now? Every meeting, every conversation, doesn't matter. No, we have spoken, we have done this thing, and now is there something we want to do? So we have been honest, we have been authentic. What now? And maybe there's nothing. That's fine. That's also an answer. But most of the time, there is something that came from this conversation, especially at work.
Yeah.
Right? So now you have action. But again, it's very hard for us really to go through all of these steps because it takes time and it's a lot of effort. When I do this with people, people get really uncomfortable, like really defensive. Why? Well, if you're authentic, now you're responsible. If you're authentic, you're responsible for what comes next because you have described what you want and need. You've asked for collaboration. Now you have to do something, not me, not yet. Does that make sense? Yeah. So the reason why I say this whole complicated story is because being authentic, to say, oh, people say this thing, oh, just be yourself. Well, it's really hard. It's hard. Nobody has taught us. Nobody really shows it. The self-help books and all the YouTube shamans and gurus are not very clear on this. It's hard to do. It's a lot of effort.
And it cannot be clear because it's different thing for everyone.
Exactly.
If I would say what it is to you, it would not be you. It would be me.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's and to be able to be authentic, you need to do a lot of soul searching, self searching. You need to get to know yourself.
And the world will push back. It's very possible that your boss or your colleagues might not like it in the beginning. They might not. Why are you all of a sudden saying something in the meeting, right? Why are you all of a sudden putting your boundaries out? Parents, teachers, friends, they might get really confused because all of a sudden you're doing things.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And they got to know you, or maybe they hired you because you didn't say anything. You just did what you were expected and didn't speak up a word. And now you start talking like, okay, you can't be the doormat anymore because you have a mind of your own.
Yeah, or maybe you're working in a corporate setting and all of a sudden you're wearing jeans. People are like, why not wearing a suit?
So it comes with those small differences. I think it starts with a small difference to find yourself, and sometimes, at least, I go the wrong way. Okay, this feels, I'm like this, and I start to feel it. No, it's not. I have to back up. No, it's not this road. And it still happens. Like, I've been looking for myself for years, and I have some kind of idea what I'm like, but I know there's plenty of that I still don't know. That's why I say, like, to be somewhere about aligned with yourself, because I cannot describe that this is me. I'm like this. because then you're going to bring up another situation. Okay, in this situation, no, actually, no, I'm not.
And I guess it also changes over time, right?
Yeah.
I assume that, because I don't know about you, but it took me a long time to be more authentic. I feel like now I'm pretty authentic, but I assume that in 20 years it will be different.
No, and it should be.
Yeah.
Because you learn.
Yes.
You learn about yourself, you learn about the world, you learn about other people. So you should, if you decide that this is me, and you never change your mind, you never change your habits, you're stuck. You're not being authentic.
Yeah. Also,
you're in that mask now.
Yeah. I mean, that's interesting because, I never thought about this, but it feels, now that you say this, it feels more like authenticity is it's fluid because if I say, this is me, and I'm dogmatic about it, that doesn't, because if I'm authentic, I'm all over the place. It's chaotic in a way.
Yeah.
You know, as you said, there are different feelings at different days. You might change your mind, you might make mistakes. We're not perfect. And that comes with authenticity. I never thought about it. Thank you for that. Yeah.
And I used to think that being authentic means that you don't have any roles. But nowadays, I'm glad to say that we do have roles. I'm a father, I have a business owner, I go play sports, I hang out with friends. So it's a different role. I don't speak the same way to my kids, or the same things that I speak at work.
Yeah.
But what is common is that I always try to align it with my values.
Exactly.
But I have a different face, I have a different rhythm of speech, different tone. Everything changes. But like the core should stay.
Yeah.
And that's where I should see that. And also, even if I see something that goes against my values, I don't necessarily step up and get involved, because I need to choose my battles. And then when I choose and I step on this, then I have to do it based on my values. But I might see things that I don't agree with, but okay, this is not my battle.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I can go on. And then when I have those core things that cannot be looked away, then of course I step in, and then I have to do it with my values, but still also not maybe being kind, like with the intention of bringing something good, not to show that I'm better than you, but the intention of bringing good to all of us.
I have a concept, again, very simple. It goes like this. So I'm important. I matter. It's very important that I take care of my body, take care of my mind, so that I can live my life and I can grow old and find happiness. It's very important. I'm important. But you're also important. If I'm only important and you're not important, then we cannot collaborate. Not really. Then you are the enemy of sorts, right? Then if you don't matter, then why wouldn't I destroy the environment? Right? Okay. So I'm important and you're important. Very simple. Then we are important together. What do I want? What do you want? And what do we want? What I like about this is that this immediately creates space for conversation.
Yeah.
Tell me what you want. I want the temperature to be 20 degrees. Oh, I want it to be 15 degrees. Okay. What do we want? Well, I want you to be happy, but I also want to be happy. 17 degrees then? Right? Or maybe one day you get your 20, I get the next day I get my, whatever. So that creates space for compromise. And so I'm important. You're important. We are important. And then our environment is important. Because if we only matter in our environment, again, what do? We will destroy it. We could clearly see this in the world, right? So I'm important, you're important, we're important, the environment is important. That's a great value. You can do business like that. You can have relationships like that. The best thing is that I understand that it's not all about me, but it's also about me. The reason why I thought about this is because I feel like we in the capitalist world that we live in, the West, there is this tendency to think, but what about me?
Mm-hmm.
What about me? What about what I need? What about what I deserve? And then we are really easily we put aside our values. And then we realize, these are not my values. Values can be hard because you have to live by them. And at least you can't just push them aside whenever you want, right? And then there's other parts of the world that are way more communal, less individualistic, but they forget about the I. So in the Netherlands, if I want to become an artist, I can really easily. My family wouldn't think anything of it. But in other cultures, the family might be like, no, you need to be a doctor,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they don't think about the individual. And what I just proposed is the idea that both the individual and the community are important. Again, it sounds so simple, but we shouldn't forget this. Does that make sense?
And it does, and it's also like when I acknowledge that I'm important, you're important, we are important. It gives a sense that energy.
Oh, exactly. Everything
That like,
changes.
okay,
Yes.
we are important. If it's like I'm up here,
Yeah.
you others are down here, it gives a total different energy
Yeah.
to spread around.
Yeah.
So I was creating that space that we are all important, and then it's quite rare that if people stop and think what they really want is in conflict with the common
Exactly.
what would be a common good. But often I feel that we are kind of pushed to think it's one or the other.
Exactly.
Instead of how can we make it good for all.
And what I like is this. And not everybody believes me, but I've coached a lot of people nowadays. Nobody wants extra, that was the word, extra, no? Nobody wants big things. Not really. Like you might think, oh, but some people just want power, or some people just want a Ferrari. No, not really. And because I've asked, in my work, I ask every day, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Over and over and over again. Everybody wants humble things. We want safety. We want love. We want to be comfortable. And most people that would say, oh, I really want a Ferrari, I would ask this. Okay, but what do you want a Ferrari for? Yeah, I want people to be impressed by me. Well, they wouldn't, if they would be honest, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good, okay. Why do you want people to be impressed by you? I need to be seen. Okay. Why do you need to feel seen? Well, because when I was younger, I wasn't seen.
Yeah.
You can immediately see where this is going, right? Well, so who didn't see you? The family I grew up in didn't see me. You want to be seen by your family, by friends. You just want to be seen by family.
Yeah. You don't need further about that.
No. And also, if you look at people that want power, what they want is control. Why do they want control? Because they're trying to create safety. Doesn't work. There's not enough power. Right? And then, okay, so how do you create safety? Through trust. How do you create trust? Through authenticity. So we don't want big things. And then so what I need is also that most people like, I want you to be happy. Well, what the hell for an asshole would I be if I feel like you don't get to be happy? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Right? And, maybe, I guess in extreme situations, this changes. Maybe when there's war or famine, maybe the rules are
crisis,
different.
yeah, probably.
Yeah, but we don't live in crisis. Look at where we live, right? So there's no need to elbow anybody out of the way at the office.
Yeah.
But it happens, and then it can have this, in a company, it can have this cascading effect. Everybody all of a sudden starts to protect themselves. Now it's all about me again, no longer about you. You miss all
They think that they have to choose. Someone creates the
Yes.
competition.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
maybe there is a competition that, okay, there may be layouts
Yes.
and stuff. Okay, you have to fight, you have to push the others down so that you will look better.
Yeah.
But it's not it might even work.
Yeah.
But are you
Yeah,
happy?
yeah, exactly.
When you stay in the work,
This is-
you know that, okay, you lied, you cheated, you
Yeah.
pushed the other ones down so that you can stay at work.
Yeah.
Is that
I mean, even if you look at the game theory,
Mhm.
yeah, that already shows it.
Yeah.
We do better when we collaborate. It's very
Yeah.
simple. And then this again, I want to be happy. Let's make you also happy. Let's make us happy. Let's make our environment happy. Everybody wins.
But it's the other thing that we are put like one against the other, and also the quick wins.
Yeah.
So it gets like, okay, I need to keep this job,
Yeah.
so I have to push everyone else down
Exactly.
so that I can keep the job.
Exactly.
And maybe it's okay for a year,
Yeah.
but then
Yeah.
it hits you because you could done something honest, something authentic, and you would be, I believe, you would be in a better place, and it would create general wellness and well-being.
And luckily it is changing. Like, for instance, if I'm not mistaken, the Nordic Investment Bank, they have an offer for the employees. Very simple, and they say, if you want to leave, we'll help you leave. This is what I mean. I'm important. You're important.
Yeah.
Instead of saying we're going to kick you out or we're going to make this difficult, they say if you want to leave, we'll give you a career coach and we'll help you find another job.
Mm-hmm.
This is in everybody's interest. Why is that? And that's really uncommon what Nordic Investment Bank does. How many companies would do that? Why wouldn't you? And the numbers are really clear also. If you do this, you save a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And then people don't start to sabotage because what's the term again? You know, quiet quitting?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The quiet quitting is when people don't leave, but they stop doing the work properly. And they're just there.
Yeah.
Burning through your cash.
Mm-hmm.
But if I feel trust and safety, if I want to leave, you'll help me.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I start sabotaging anything? Thank you. I don't have to fear for my job. There's no competition. Why is that? Why does not every company do that?
Yeah, and also, like if you put this offer, like when someone is thinking, hey, I'm thinking, okay, let's talk about it.
Exactly.
Oh, what do you want? Okay, can you offer it here?
It's giving goosebumps again. But exactly, this is the beauty of it. Maybe that starts a conversation with, let's say that I'm in your company, I want to leave. And then we have a conversation. And what I really want is to actually not work for sales, but for marketing. And we say, hey, well, we can actually do that.
Yeah, actually, we have an opening here.
Maybe,
would you like to move here?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
We don't have to hire anyone. You don't have to quit.
Exactly.
Or you can say, yeah, okay, I want to purchase something else.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. What they're looking for.
Yeah.
Okay, how we can help you? We have this and this kind
Let's
of
go with this. I love this, right? So, obviously, we're talking. How do I say it? This is a bit of a utopian way of thinking, in a little bit, or like best case scenario, right? But, no, I lost my thought. One second. Oh yeah, I have a team. I want them to become so good. I want them to leave. I want them to be better than me. And I'll just hire new people. Why not? Like you have kids. Don't you want them? Wouldn't it be weird if you teach your kids to be less smart than you, less capable, so you feel good? It would be weird, right?
Yeah.
Why do we do that with teams? Doesn't make any sense. I want you to leave and start your own company. This is what I mean. There's this old way of thinking. This is dusty old way of like, no, but then they're going to start their own company and compete with us and like
they know all our secrets.
Yeah. Who cares? And of course, like one tricky part with this is obviously if one person stays selfish and ruthless, it's kind of easy to break everything down, right?
Mm.
But why not? Why not, as a leader, lead in such a way that they become the leaders?
Yeah.
I don't understand what the problem is here. I really don't. And if people say like, yeah, but you lose money. Yeah, you're making enough money already. Really? Like there's a lot of companies that are doing really well. Why are they so afraid to lose a little bit of money on that? They're
And,
still making profit.
and probably when they get a good competition, they have two choices. Or they die, or they get better.
They get better, or maybe there's a collaboration. But also everything changes. Like if I leave your company and I start one company in the same field, but I love you. I respect you for giving me this opportunity. I'm not going to try and destroy you. You know what I mean? Maybe we can work together. Maybe there's a product to do together. Whatever. Like there's always possibilities.
And you're going to be you.
Exactly.
You're going to be talking to a little bit different
Exactly.
audience.
Very good. Very good. Exactly. Exactly. It's different. It's different.
You're not going to be me. Even if you would take exactly all the documents, everything, repeat everything exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It's not the same.
Exactly. Yes, yes, yes. So this fear that we have, again, it's just, if I'm the leader, if I'm the CEO or whatever, or if I'm the employee, like me, oh, what if other people do better? What if they what are we doing? This is 2025, almost 2026. What is this? It feels so outdated. Really. Like it's time for a revolution. Like,
everything comes from either from fear or love.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It comes from fear, and you don't want other people to grow because you're afraid. And when you think from love, you want them to flourish, you want them to grow, and you believe it's going to bring something good to everyone.
But that's also, there's research on this. It's very simple. If everybody wants me to grow, I grow. Of course it happens.
Yes.
Because if everybody wants me to grow, they get safer, well, then it's inevitable that I get more safe too. Also opportunities for me. Like for me, I don't know about you, but I help people a lot. I have I do, for instance, an event called Help Me Help You. We get 40 people together and I ask the audience, what do you want? Again, the question, what do you want? And then a person says, I really need an internship. And then I help them then to describe it properly. I use my tool of descriptive communication to help them describe it. And then I ask the audience, okay, but how can we help this gentleman? And then 9 out of 10 times, somebody says, my uncle's brother-in-law has a company, they're looking for an intern. Like almost every single time that happens.
Yeah.
So it takes my time to set this event up. And it takes energy. But why wouldn't I do it? And then people are like, yeah, but that takes away time for myself. You know how much Netflix we watch? Yeah, really, like it's this. Yeah. So, but I mean to say that helping each other is, I highly recommend it. Very much so. To not be selfish in that. And then, yeah, I see if I help other people get more successful, of course, it also helps me too. It's inevitable. Like, it doesn't take anything away from you if you help people. That's what we think.
It's interesting. I'm listening in an audiobook by Ray Dalio, The Principles. And I think who knows him knows he's very successful in the financial terms. But he speaks about the same things like authenticity and giving, helping others is what creates value. And that's what built his fortune. Not stealing, not going behind backs, but being authentic, being honest, and like what he says often in the book is like admitting your ignorance. That you can learn. You can always learn. Being open to learning.
And also that, I give a lot of help, but I also ask a lot of help.
Yeah.
But I can only ask for help if I know what I want.
That's right.
And I only know what I want if I'm okay with being authentic.
Yeah.
And then again, we get back to it. So we have to be able to describe the thing that we want in such a way that the other one can understand it. And the other one has to be in a space that they can take this in. And then I have to understand that it's my responsibility. And then my responsibility is to ask my friend who has a 3D printer if I can use it to try and build my prototype or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah. And it's also, sometimes it's scary thing to think what you want.
Because,
okay, first you have to decide that, okay, I want this, but it means that you have to say no to a lot of things.
No to other things.
For me, when I'm in doubt between, for example, two things, like, okay, I want this, but I want A and I want B. When I switch it the other way around, which one I cannot live without?
Right.
And then it's almost always clear, okay, I need to do A. B would be super nice, but I cannot live without. My mission is to do A. I cannot live without that.
I think also what helps a lot is, I think we do that because we're afraid to make the wrong decision, right? What if it's not the best decision leading to the most opportunities, but we have no fucking clue.
Yeah.
In that way, I almost, how do I say this? If I simply follow what I want, at least I'm moving forward. If I'm trying to decide what will create the most success, I will be forever paralyzed with the need to decide.
Yeah.
What's the thought behind this is that you don't know the future. I don't know the future. No matter how hard I make my brain work, I cannot predict the future. I cannot. So I don't know which one is the best option, but I do know which one I want. That's my guidance. Does that make sense?
In a way, I would say that, like, in my case, it's like, I know what I want, I know what I need. For example, the video editor. Okay, I feel that I need a video editor. Okay, who is the best one for me? And I can look for weeks, months, interview, when I would just need someone who has this and this skills, and I take him or her. Okay, let's try out. And in 2 weeks, I know much more. Was it a good choice or not?
Yeah.
And it might be that he or she is not the best with those skills. It might be, it's not even top 50, but it doesn't matter if it's enough to move me forward. But
And if it's not, let's say they do a terrible job, then
I know.
right,
Okay,
and you make a change.
Yes.
So
Still, I'm moving forward.
Exactly.
Okay, at least I know that this is not the person.
And instead of, and I think what a lot of people would do is they go like, oh my God, I have chosen the wrong editor. What do I do now?
Yeah.
Well, you stop working with them and you find a new one. And what you said about, you made a list of, I need this, this, and this from the editor. Well, that's what I mean with being descriptive in your communication. I have written my one down. I need them to make, let's say that the main point is I wanted to make Instagram posts.
Yeah.
Okay, you know that. Let's just say you find someone. Can you make Instagram posts? Yes, I can. Right. Simple, right?
Well,
but you're right. People get stuck in this. It has to be the best, whatever.
Yeah.
Add all kinds of things that don't matter. But if I've been descriptive, then it doesn't matter. It helps with decision making. And it's funny, this mechanism, like I see it a lot when we go to restaurants. I find this, I'm really amused by this. Go to a restaurant and look at the people that you're at the table with. How difficult it is for some people to choose what to eat on the menu.
For me, it is.
Okay, right? Because what if I don't like it, right? But does it matter that much? But there's actually science behind this. I'm going to ruin the science a little bit, but I can remember the basic part. We have a substance in our brain called something glutamate. And when we make decisions, left, right, up, down, this meal or that meal, this glutamate builds up in our brain. And when there's too much, we cannot make decisions anymore. So that we have a limit. We have a limited capacity to make decisions, right? Okay. And then what helps? But then the brain needs to clean itself from that glutamate. The way it does it is by sleep, right? Okay. So sleep is a reset. But here's the thing. I would like to use my brain juice on important decisions. And if I'm in a restaurant and I have to like really think, what's but if you, whatever you want, right? But if I'm, what should I do? What should I do? And I've seen people genuinely panic a little bit on a menu,
Yeah.
you're using it. Why are we? I wouldn't recommend that. That one, right? And then you have more brain juice left for later.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're always trying to make the best decision, trying to predict the future, we're using all of this brain power constantly.
Yeah.
And of course, we then don't know. We start to panic later on when it's really important things like, should I get married? Are we buying this house? Should I have the surgery or not? We literally use the brain juice.
That's a funny thing that my wife reminds me that how quick I'm buying a house. Like we sold our apartment, and how quick I was buying the apartment.
Right.
But then when I, for example, choosing the editor or buying a new laptop,
Right, exactly.
like I can spend more time looking for an office chair than researching the apartment.
Exactly. And I found it interesting because also, like, I think we already mentioned it, most of these things, it doesn't matter that yes. Like, you could spend, days looking for the best mattress. But if you actually ask, my brother has a scoliosis, and he asked the doctor, what kind of mattress should I buy? You know what the doctor said? Doesn't matter. Like, what the hell? He has scoliosis, so he needs, it doesn't matter. And then why? Well, because we turn our body during the night.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Isn't that great? No need to look for that. And it's true, because you could, I seen, we want to choose a movie to watch with some friends, and they were like 45 minutes in, and we still haven't chosen no movie yet.
Yeah, that's a classic.
So no movement, right? This stagnation, like that has nothing to do with trust. That's nothing to do with safety. Has nothing to do with authenticity.
Well, movies, it's a good example because I have when I start a movie, I have to finish it. It's very difficult to, like, after 10 minutes, okay, this sucks. Let's
That's how
it should be.
Exactly.
Okay, but we started already. We invested already 10 minutes. Yeah, but we invested 30 minutes of choosing the movie, so it doesn't matter.
And I know a lot of people, they're like obsessed with what if I choose wrong? But again, if we can describe what it is that we want, right? So for instance, one thing that helps me with choosing a movie is this. Do I want to watch a movie because I want to watch the story? Or are we watching the movie because I'm with friends? Listen, if we're with friends, I don't care.
Yeah.
So if I can describe that to myself, then I go, that one.
Exactly. And it's often we focus on the, I don't know, is it wrong to say wrong things, but in a way, not the important things. We spend too much focus on those.
But we don't learn to answer the question, what do I want? Like, friends, this is too easy. Let's say you want to go out with friends. There's 4 friends. Okay, where do you want to go? What do most people say?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
You choose. Okay.
Does anyone know a good place?
Then
Let's throw the responsibility to someone else.
Right. But I'll choose them. I go that one. And then people say, not that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me what you want.
I don't know.
Well, so describe it. Do we want to get wasted? Do we want atmosphere? Do we want to dance? Tell me what you want.
Out. Yeah.
You have to tell me what you want.
Yeah.
I can tell you what I want.
But people don't. We don't usually know what we want.
No, we don't know what we want. We're afraid. Yeah, but what if other people don't?
Yeah, if you don't have the trust, you're afraid to say what we want.
Exactly. But I'm with friends. I'm important. You're important. You're important. You're important. We're important. Tell me what you want. Maybe I want to compromise because I love you. Maybe you want to get wasted. I want to dance, and there's the perfect place we can do both.
Yeah.
Right?
You can always find compromise when you know.
But I need to know.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
properly know.
I see this often with, for example, with nutrition, with food, like people focus on if I should buy a supplement, for example, and like they are missing what they eat every day.
Yeah, for instance.
Yeah. But they think, okay, I need to get the best vitamin C to be healthy.
Yeah.
but they are completely missing what happens in the daytime, and that's like they know they want to be more healthy. They know what they want, but then after knowing what you want, you also need to understand how you can achieve it, where to focus.
Actually, that thank you so much for mentioning this. When we think about what we want, we mostly think about positive things, right?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit this, but it's true. I don't want to say this because I think it matters for people. I want to be healthy.
Mhm.
I would like that. But currently, I started smoking again 8 months ago
Mhm.
out of stress. And then my friend knows that I want to be healthy, said, you should quit. And I thought, yeah, no. And he was like, what? And then I said, yeah, I don't want to quit. And that's confusing, right?
Mhm.
Why am I saying this? Is because if I'm being honest with myself, actually honest, authentic,
Mhm.
I don't want to quit. Not now. I will quit in the future. I always do. But not now. But this is really strange to say because we're not really, in our society, in our culture, we're not really supposed to want things that aren't good for us.
Mhm.
Very strange to say, but I don't want to quit. I want to smoke.
And why don't you want to quit now?
Well, I know that I won't. I could try, but I know myself. I've been with myself for many, many years. It just won't work.
So you would lose the battle, and
Even
like,
before I started already.
It's better to fight when you know that you can win.
Yes, exactly. And I know myself also that eventually I'll change my mind and I'll be like, now it's been enough self-indulgence, and then I will quit. If I will try quit now, I'm setting myself up for failure. But it's a hard thing to be honest about. It's not easy to say this to people. Sounds really weird. Everybody gets weird, right? Because we're supposed to be better. But this is my way to help me to quit when I'm ready. Does that make sense?
I understand.
But it's hard to, as if this is what I mean, but authenticity is complicated, right? So authenticity can, for instance, also be, you're with your partner. You can say, I really don't like you today, but I also know that's not fair.
Yeah.
That would really confuse people, but that might be how I feel. Am I able to admit that? Is there a space for me to say this? Not to be cruel.
It's okay that you say, okay, I need some distance from you.
Yeah, exactly. That's also authentic.
Is it okay?
Yes.
But in a good relationship,
Yes.
it is.
Yes.
When you trust it, okay, we all need some space sometimes.
Exactly. Yes.
If there's something bigger, I know that you will talk to me.
Yes.
So if it's just that you need some space, okay, it's something.
There was a person, it was some clip, and they said that their partner asked them, do you love me? And then he said, yeah, sometimes. That's honest. It's weird to say, right? It might be considered cruel. I don't think it's cruel. Depends a lot on how you say it, right? But it's true. I have people that I love a lot, and sometimes I think they're really incredibly annoying.
Yes.
And then for a moment, I still love them, but not in the same way.
But the annoyance get the better of the.
But what helps me is that allows me to feel that, because it's okay. It's very normal, right? Not everything we want is immediately good for us or happy things. Again, authenticity. It's hard to accept for people.
It's interesting when you mentioned about smoking, because I have this conflict that I'm not always happy the way I eat. So when I have go to the supermarket and I have the junk food on my basket, I'm so eager to look what other people have. I'm like, he's buying that. Oh, she's buying that. And when I'm in like feeling good and doing the grocery as I want, I don't give up what other people buy. But when I'm doing something wrong, I want to see like, what's happening? So many cookies. I only have one. You have two. Like in a way of.
I do that in the gym. It's so annoying. I hate myself. I'm in the gym and I'm like competing with people you haven't even seen me. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I can do that better than you.
Yeah.
But this is what I mean with I'm important, you're important. That helps me so much. I'm at the gym and I'm like, I do that when I don't feel good about myself, obviously, right? I'm trying to prep myself up, right? But luckily, I've had a lot of practice, and nowadays I go, so I'm in competition with this person who's at whatever machine. And now I go, wait a minute, I'm important. It's okay to feel this. It's okay to feel this. This is normal. This is normal. Everybody has that. That person also matters. I'm such an asshole. This person is working hard there. Let them be. I'm important. You're important. We're important. Our environment is important. And then all of a sudden, this need to control goes away. And now I'm creating safety for myself. And this person doesn't have to deal with me staring at them, competing with them from a distance.
Well, that was so difficult before I said it first time out loud. Something like not necessarily this, but something like this that what goes in my head. Because of course I thought I'm the only one. I never heard anyone say anything like this. So I must be the weird one. I must be the bad one. And then when I spoke with one friend, a good connection, and yeah, I didn't know if I have this. What?
Yeah.
He understood immediately what I was talking. So it's not so weird. It's not so unique. And then, okay, now, and I talk with people, we all have it.
But we really all have it.
Yeah.
So, for instance, also what I like to do is that, let's say that my friend gets a promotion, right? And then I might say, I'm really, really happy for you. I'm really so happy for you. I'm also envious that you got it, but I'm also really happy for you. Because they're both true.
Yeah.
If I would pretend I'm not envious, I'm lying. If I would be envious but wouldn't say it, I'm lying. It's okay. Well, of course I'm not. But there's nothing wrong with being envious.
Yeah.
I want a promotion too. There's nothing wrong with that. But then if I say it, then I don't have to do anything with it. She doesn't have to do anything with it either.
Yeah.
I just said it because it feels right.
That's also something. I said, we don't have to do anything about it.
We don't have to do anything
We
with
can
it.
just leave it there open.
Just out there.
But it has to be out there. If it's inside, it can have the power.
What I like about it is this. So, for instance, we have spoken a lot about how authenticity is like an arrow, right? Like it shows you where to go. Okay, so if I'm envious about that, what does it say about me? I can ask myself this question. Why does that want also a promotion? Wait a minute. Do I? Or doing what? How much work has she done? Oh, she works 50 hours a week. I don't want to work 50 hours a week. Hey, you know what? I might be envious, but I'm wrong about it.
Yeah.
I'm not. I thought I was envious.
It's learned habit. It doesn't come from.
For instance, just as an example. Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. And because I say this out loud, I can have this conversation with myself because I'm honest about it. And I feel like this is something I miss in society, especially at work. This is also what I meant with there's a culture of professionalism where we're not supposed to show vulnerability. What's the point? Why pretend we're all strong? But then everybody in life is going through shit. Somebody's child dies. I mean, terrible, but that happens. People don't know, right? Your colleagues don't know. Maybe you just got out of bed with the wrong foot that morning. You're grumpy, right? Maybe you're jealous, whatever. Like all this stuff, but we have created this world where we have to pretend that everything's fine. How are you? Fine. But we're not. Like, for instance, in my case, I find this really funny. People ask me, how do I feel? How am I? Nowadays, I often answer, I go like this. I am excited. I am tired. I am happy. I am anxious. Because I have all these things.
Yeah. Like I said when I came, you said,
exactly.
I have some ups and downs.
Exactly.
So like,
yes,
that's true.
Yes.
I feel that if I said, if everything is good, I explain why. Because I don't want to say, yeah, I'm fine. Because it sounds so vague. I'm fine, the job is going well. I'm having a good relationship with my wife. It's going well with the kids. I explain why I'm fine. I'll just leave it there like sounding, it's fine. And then when it's not fun, I said, well, part of our good, something is not so well. Like I had an argument with my son or something like that. Yeah. So
Yeah. And then, if we're honest, again, I'm repeating myself, if you want to, you can choose to do something with one of these things.
yeah,
And if we're not saying it to ourselves or to other people, then we don't do anything with it.
and it's again, you don't have to do.
But
Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
Exactly.
But like,
But you can.
yeah, but it's a way of getting the mask off, right?
Yes. Yeah, and then to be honest about the good, the bad, and even the ugly.
Yeah.
I think there's but we also have to have space. Like we have to give people space for that. You know, I also feel like in a lot of situations, if I'm honest, people might be very judgmental, even though they're hypocrites because they probably think the same things.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's something that I don't mind about it anymore. Like,
Not anymore.
and I don't see it. I don't know if it happens or not because I don't pay attention to it anymore.
I think it's about practice. Like you, I feel like I've been practicing with this a lot, so a lot of repetition, and eventually you realize that, first of all, people care way less about what I want and what I do than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And if people judge it, then, well, it's a filter. So I don't want to work with you.
Yeah.
If you can't handle me in everything, and don't get me wrong, like, again, this only works if I take responsibility, right? If I go through life, you know, just in full reactive mode, thinking I'm authentic, this doesn't work. But I'll take responsibility. So if you don't like me at my authenticity, then that's too bad for you.
Yeah.
Can you read another poem?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it came to my mind. It's very much about this. Let me look around. Here we go. To understand that vulnerability is an action and that it is a truth is to understand how to wield real power. For vulnerability is to lower all your shields, ignore all your coping mechanisms, take off your harness and drop your sword. What is left is you. You in your purest, most authentic form. And that what is pure, authentic cannot be broken into pieces. Someone might disagree with your authentic expression. Someone might be offended by it, but they cannot argue whether you are being you. Authenticity, vulnerability is the greatest power you will ever wield.
I'd like you to send those poems to me.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we need to wrap up soon because we've been talking quite a lot.
Yeah.
It's funny, like it's a topic that we both are very into it, and it's easy to make conversation for. But
let me first gift you my book because I thought that you might want a copy.
Thank you.
Yeah, actually, this is interesting. So this book is very much an attempt to be really honest. It's part autobiographical. There's some poetry in there. There's ideas in there of mine, and I made the effort to be as honest as I could. It was also very scary. In a way, you'll see it if you read.
Can I ask a favor?
Yes, of course.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
Give it a personal touch.
There you go.
Thank you. I'm super happy about this talk. I got the feeling when we started talking, like, yeah, we had the one call before, like, I think in 1 or 2 minutes, okay, we are we are matched for the podcast. We're gonna have some nice conversation going on. Is there something how you want to summarize authenticity or what we talked today?
When I work with people and I help them answer the question, what is it that they want? The reason that I'm so motivated to do it is because when they do start to say it, so let's say we're We're in the session. We're half an hour in. We're half an hour. They're not saying it, and I'm helping them. I'm pulling on their words. I'm pulling. And all of a sudden, they say something that's true to them. Not what I want, not what anybody else thinks, what they want. I wish that people could see that, because when they do, people light up. Their eyes start to shine. Like every time it happens, I feel a sigh coming up. Ah, it's relief. It is as if people become more conscious in that one moment. Because when they say what they want, now there is also movement forward, and they're being them. And I wish for everyone to have that experience. So I highly recommend for people to try and answer this question. Is it okay if I plug something on myself? Yeah. So hopefully next week, which will be in December, I'm gonna launch a course online, which is actually for this.
Yeah.
It's built to help people understand what it is that they want. And if people are interested, then they can try that out. It's called the Introduction to Descriptive Communication. And hopefully can help people, because it's really difficult. It's really difficult to answer the question, what do you want?
Yeah.
But when we do, now you have an arrow to follow, and we can be guided by that.
And in addition to that, I would say that it's okay to spend some time thinking what you want, because often I feel that we are so in a rush. It's okay to start at think what I really want. Get some time and
Actually,
space.
yeah, that's a really good point. It's not you're not going to sit down and in an hour write down what you want. You're right. You should contemplate this over a longer period of time. Yeah. Good point.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Thank you so much for the lovely conversation.
Thank you. Thank you, the listeners, and we catch up next time.
Nice.
No.